we are endowed with so much resources on Earth and the entire universe. We should not work for food. We should not work for shelter. Human beings, we are supposed to be on, vacation like 24/7.
So welcome. I'm Ruben from the Caribbean Blockchain Network. I'm here with Apollo from Æternity Hub Africa. Apollo, welcome to our little interview. Introduce yourself. Maybe tell our community and our network your background, where you come from, and also why you decided to enter into the blockchain space.
Okay. My name is Apollo. Cheng Eric, I have four names. I come from Nairobi, Kenya. Born and brought up there. My background is a little bit twisted. I went to school, studied sciences. I liked programming, so I think by the time I was in second year, I knew that I was never going to be in the medical world or work there. So I started applying myself more into technology and learning as much as I could. So I remember going to schools, class with computer science students, just to learn what they're learning there. But most of it is also because of the drive you have inside. I really wanted to learn how to code. So I would say that the journey began back then when I was at the university. So after graduation, obviously, jobs are scarce, and you're trying to get by. Your parents are no longer supporting you, and you need to figure out how to pay your bills and be a man. So in that process, I am doing some freelance gigs here and there. So I did a lot of networking, just fixing people's internet and computers in offices, and you get something. And I mean, that's really how it began. So at some point, I also started learning how to trade. I normally have a lot of interests. I can wake up in the morning and I just want to do something, and in the evening it's a project that's getting implemented and all that. Sometimes I have that kind of excitement. So some things stick with me, and some things, it's just excitement of the moment. So I also started to learn how to trade online, and I had initial setbacks of it's a very steep learning curve. You have to teach yourself how the market works, learn to look at those graphs, and interpret meaning from the prices, and know when to go in and when to come out. So like 1.5 years, 2 years down the line from the time I started learning how to trade, I was in a position where I was confident. I had a strategy that worked, and I kind of starting put in real money from just using a demo account in trading. Eventually, I even started living off it. I almost completely stopped my development, IT networking jobs, and in my apartment, I would just wake up in the morning as early as 3 a.m. to catch up with the Asian markets. During the day, the European market, and then towards the evening, you try trading the US market, because it's just a market. As long as prices are going up and down, you can always find an opportunity to make a few coins, and if you're not so lucky, you also lose. It's like a win-lose kind of a situation. You just need to know how to play the game and enjoy it, and then if you're lucky most of the time and only unlucky a few times, then you have a strategy that works. So that's my first company, called Point 50 Capital. Something here that shows it's a trading company. Now from trading, how I got into blockchain, you see, you're a researcher as a trader, and you also listen to and read a lot of news feeds about the financial system, and Bitcoin just kept on coming. It would come and you'd listen to it, and not pay enough attention. That's way back in 2014, 2015. I think the very first trade I took in Bitcoin was in 2016. That's when I bought a little bit of it and just have a feel of how it feels like, because it was not going away. I started just paying attention to it and reading about it. Because I had that little technology background, it was very easy for me to understand it and how it works. And already I could start seeing how we are going to move from current currency and systems, because you see that economic background of trying to understand how the economy works and why the prices are going down, and I could connect the dots. Um, and I started doing more and more trading in the Bitcoin, and not just trading the market but also selling it to people, because I think the moment I realized what it was, I was also not keeping quiet. I was just talking to everybody I could meet about it, and hey, you've heard about this thing called Bitcoin, you need to get some of it, it's really cool and all that. And people would say, okay, I heard about Bitcoin, but you didn't explain it very well to me, because I also didn't really know how to explain it very well. So they would buy it from me, and it just grew from there. That is really how I got into a blockchain, and I got to a point where you could also see the things that people are using it for out there, and you start looking around and you see all the challenges we are facing as a people, and you're also starting to come up with ideas. That is a very good use case for blockchain. In my country, every 5 years people die because of elections, because it's ethnicized, and people say that you are my people and I am not your people, so I'm not going to vote for you, and because you speak a different language from me, and you come from a part of the world where there's only hills, and I come from a part of the world where there's lakes, we are not supposed to like each other. I'm not even supposed to marry a wife from that tribe. And because of such trivial things, people end up fighting and losing their lives, and they even end up stealing the election. After all that has happened, people who even vote, it doesn't even count at the end of the day, because it's the person who counts that really makes the difference. And as long as that person is powerful and he can control instruments of power, so you could see how this technology could change those kinds of things, because those are realities. I've lost relatives. Sometimes even me, I've been caught in some of those skirmishes. So yeah, I mean, it's a very long answer to your question, but
No, but it's an interesting answer, because as you pointed out, you started off as I guess the hardships of getting to surviving on your own and becoming independent, but then you also see big problems within your own country's social problems. When it comes to division and conflict and stuff like that, and yet you think that blockchain technology can bring some type of unification, or at least distribute the power that is acquired by certain people or certain organizations.
I think that moving forward, what our generation must focus on is how we solve problems such as freedom from hunger, freedom of movement, and we are endowed with so much resources on Earth and the entire universe. We should not work for food. We should not work for shelter. I mean, I don't understand how birds wake up in the morning and they don't even think about where they're going to eat. They just fly in a particular direction and they eat. They have so much fun and they come back in the evening. Human beings, we are supposed to be on, vacation like 24/7, and we can be able to do that. The reason why we are not doing that is because our focus right now is, how will I pay school fees for my 5-year-old? I mean, how will I, make sure that I can pay rent for my office or even my house? I have a brother who is still at the university. Those are the things that occupy our minds. But the moment we are able to solve that using technology, which we can, almost all functions, everything that we do as human beings in industry and all that, somehow, one way or another, will be replaced by technology. And it's a reality that we cannot run away from. I think there's always that fear that it's going to destroy so much. By the end of the day, we always just create more opportunities and a better way of life. Look at like the last 100 years. The quality of life of human beings have improved. People are more educated, more enlightened, more aware, and even far much more powerful in terms of being able to make your own decision. Those changes have been helped or aided by technology one way or another. And I think blockchain really takes it to another level. Because imagine meeting somebody online and being able to transfer value. That is what it allows us to do. Like just sending a text, SMS, and you're able to transfer value. It changes everything completely. And building on top of that and solving all the other problems, because we're talking about eliminating all middlemen and making systems and processes as transparent as possible, and automating using smart contract every every step of the way. You see, so yeah, we can solve. I've had a chance of living in both worlds. I am blessed right now. Uh, the things I've been doing, some of them have come with rewards. I can live a comfortable life that very many people I know in my country cannot. Uh, there's a lot of hard work that has gone into it, but I also think that there's an element of luck. There are things which happen to you sometimes, and you just wonder, how did that happen to me? So you have to be grateful and thankful for that. But I think that comes with responsibility. You know, what about the rest? And what can we do to make it even much better for them without, because if they are not comfortable, you're not. If the masses are not at peace, the rich people will not be at peace. If they don't have food, they're just going to come and eat them.
It is so clear, actually. You can see it throughout the entire history of mankind that indeed, if you have the privilege to be privileged, then you have the responsibility to bring up the other people to your privilege, right?
Exactly. And I think we can do that using technology. So if we have the potential in terms of solutions that we need to build, and then we just create a pipeline. So right now we are working towards developing community of entrepreneurs, so a pipeline of people who have ideas and they're trying to come up with solutions to solve some of those challenges. But also, to make that a reality, we must build a very strong community of developers who actually write code. They understand what they're doing, and then you also need to design. So entrepreneurs, developers, and designers, if we have those, then we have people who can change things. I think you can say many things about entrepreneurs. You can call them weird. You can say that sometimes they're even arrogant. Some are also very humble, but you just can't ignore them because they always change things. They just have a way of. You might not agree with them, but they will bring a change around. It might be positive or even negative. They always you can't ignore them in that sense.
Yeah. So actually, entrepreneurs are kind of the movers of, are the ones that are kind of pulling our communities or societies towards a certain direction. And what does Æternity Hub Africa has to do with, for example, facilitating the entrepreneurs, the developers, the designers within Africa and your region, Kenya?
So we just took a very practical approach. I would say that I've been an entrepreneur for a better part of my life, and everything I do is just always around entrepreneurship. The first time I made money was just after primary school, like elementary school. You're just about to go to high school. So there's that period where you just hang there. So my mom gave me 100 shillings, and I used it to buy fake Chinese size A batteries and a torch. And I went and sold it to travelers who are going off country. They always need light and all that, because back then it was not as electrified, and the infrastructure was poor. And just the fact that you could buy something there and sell it here, and you've not stolen from anyone. It's agreement. You guys are you're able to talk to them nicely, and they're able to give you money, and you're able to make profit out of that. That feeling, I don't think it ever leaves you. And so you just find what to do to always get that feeling. So what I'm trying to say is that entrepreneurship is, we need to build them. We need to give them the resources that they need. So the practical approach we are taking is we are training developers at the university level. Dr. Bastian, he's the CTO of O2. I'm working hand in hand with him we have two universities. So we have Technical University of Kenya, and then we have United States International University. Each and every of these universities have given us 2 hours of lecture every week. So we go there and we break down the technology for them theoretically, and then go deeper into the technical details of setting up the development environment, running a few scripts, simple programs here and there, hello world programs, and then pointing them into a direction where they can even get more resources to be able to build much more complex stuff. And right now we are at a point where we are able to support these startups that are coming up. So a startup comes up, they think they really have a great idea, but then internally they don't have technical capacity to develop. We are able to support them to be able to develop that kind of product. And then Æternity comes in because they are interested in entrepreneurs who are developing solutions on Æternity blockchain. So if there's an idea, we just channel it through and we validate it. They get the funding to develop the product. We help them whenever we can, so we can help them develop their product technically. We also run a lot of training sessions on marketing, on things like financial literacy, accounting, the very, very simple things that people don't even pay attention to, without which a business will not be able to function well. So in just supporting them, that's really what we do as Æternity Hub Africa. I mean, there's so many places where these things are being done, but I don't think that people are paying as much attention as they should to a technology like blockchain, because truth be told, there's so much money out there, and most of it is still being wasted on things like real estate. We are building all these huge, ugly roads across Africa, when it's much, much cheaper to build tunnels using the boring machine from Elon Musk. It's like 3 times cheaper, and there will be much, much more instead of just doing the right thing. Because you see, when they're building these big, ugly roads, the people will get paid, because as you kind of displace people along the road. So when they hear there's going to build a road, they just go buy all the land, so that when the government is compensating people, they get something out of it. And then they make sure, that's really how they do it. So you don't really get what you're supposed to get, but you get something that kind of improves the way things were a little bit. You see, we can be able to eliminate all that and just have systems that works, and just change people's lives generally, because that's the most important thing. We have to advance humanity, physically, health-wise, our consciousness as a people. We have to push those boundaries one way or another.
Cool. And the projects wise on that you're, I guess, supporting, or the development that you're supporting with Æternity Hub Africa, can you maybe tell us a short bit about that?
You guys have spoken to RideSafe, right?
Yes, we have spoken to RideSafe.
So their project, we practically have done the entire app for them, and I think it's a really cool app. They're providing micro insurance and rapid response to motorbike riders, which is really, the most basic mode of transport in most of the places in Africa right now, because of the poor state of infrastructure. Other than that, we have a platform called Nafasi, still under development. Nafasi in Swahili means opportunity, a chance. So we want to give entrepreneurs a chance to be able to succeed. So they'll be able to tokenize the assets of their company. So if I have a company that is trying to solve, say, the problem of transport, whichever way or form, it can become in any form. And then I have a very clear structure about people that I'm working with. I have a white paper about what I want to achieve. The milestones are very clear, and then the resources and what I need to be able to get there, so they can be able to crowdfund on the platform, and it can be peer to peer, or we can even enlist people like venture capital funds. So like Æternity Ventures can become like one of the partners of the platform. And we're starting to even get some of those people who want to partner with us. So that is one of the projects that we are building. Crowdfunding, crowdsourcing for funds, but also human capital, because I think talent is distributed evenly across the world. People need to be able to find each other and just offer services across the board. And that's what we'll be able to do with Nafasi. So if I need a blockchain developer and I'm somewhere in Singapore, I should be able to get that service within minutes, within seconds, from anywhere in the world, because after all, everything's just done online. You also have a payment platform. So poor people spend the most, because there's so many transactions in between, and all these intermediaries, everyone trying to take something out of it. The government is charging them value-added tax, and then all this other form of like income tax. They pay so much to just be alive. We are trying to just find a way to solve that. The direction it will take, we are not very sure. Right now, we just have a platform that can allow a merchant to to accept a payment in crypto, because I think that cryptocurrencies are just setting the foundation for the next generation financial system, and we need to be able to build those on ramp the way everyone has been saying, whether for profit or just because we need them to be there. So the payment platform, it allows business to instantly go international, because crypto is just crypto across the board. You don't need FX and all those bank charges to transfer it. It's faster, it's much more secure than all these other payment, and it's real. It's not like the kind of money that we have, which is just printed out of thin air and then just injected into the economy, which is a shame. You can't print wealth. People have to work, they have to earn, and then you have to invest that money, and then that is how prosperity is built. But we are going to a point where machines will be able to work, so we tax the machines, and human beings are on permanent vacation.
That sounds like a really interesting future. What do you have to say towards the Caribbean community and the African community when it comes to blockchain, when it comes to what we talked about, the social problems we're facing around the world, and entrepreneurship, and taking action on these problems?
I think that for a very long time, we, as Africans and even people in the Caribbean, we didn't really believe that we are as equal, in terms of human beings. But I think over time we've come to a point where we know that we're as good as everybody else. And the challenges that we face as in Africa, if you look at Europe in the Middle Ages, and even as early as Second, First World War, they faced and they fought and they killed each other in a very barbaric manner. So it's not like it's human history. It's human history, and that evolution, with all the knowledge we have and all the experience, we just need to take it to another level. So the question is, what do you do, from your corner? I'm doing my part. Everyone just need to do something. And like I said, just find a problem that is worth solving, put your all into it, and it might excite you, you might learn something out of it, or you might even fail. But everyone has to do something. That's how this change is going to happen. In your own corner, just find something and you don't just talk. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Apollo. You heard it. Do something. Thank you.